Again, thank you. I'm Dave Whalen with Bluebird. I'm the Vice President of Manufacturing and Quality. Again, I would just like to thank Paige and the Georgia Logistics Summit for this opportunity for us to come and talk a little bit. Some of you were able to hear about our company yesterday, so you don't have to worry. I did prepare two presentations, so you're not going to sit through the exact same one. And honestly, my fear has been realized. I'm following probably what's going to be one of the better speakers here, so please bear with me. And as I said yesterday, one of the things that about our product is everybody seems to have used our product. I can surely say that everybody has used their product. So, but again, yesterday I made a comment that manufacturing, logistics, and supply chain is the lifeblood that keep us running every day. And I had to chuckle to myself when Mercedes made the comment. As a manufacturing guy, probably the thing I worry about most is, are we going to have the parts when we need them? And so shutting down our lines is our biggest fear. And so logistics and supply chain is what delivers those products to us every day. But I'm biased, so I went out and looked. As a country, manufacturing is one of the pillars that makes us a great country. And so manufacturing, supply chain, and logistics is something that as we talk about reshoring and those types of things, it's something that needs to happen, and it is one of the things that drives our success and will continue to drive our success. And as you can see, Thomas Jefferson, one of our founding fathers, had the foreknowledge to understand that relationship between manufacturing and the success of the country. So I didn't go into much detail yesterday about what our footprint is, but we are a Georgia-based company. We're proud to be a Georgia-based company. We've been here for 86 years producing school buses. We currently have produced about 500,000 school buses since we started business in 1927. Our main facility is in Fort Valley, Georgia. That's south of Macon, if you don't know where Fort Valley, Georgia is. We have the capacity to produce over 15,000 units, and we have right around about 1 million square feet of manufacturing space there. We also have a fabrication facility, so we have our body and chassis assembly plant, and then we also have a fabrication facility where we do metal processing such as laser cutting, turret welding, and that type of stuff. And so that's about 3 miles. That's also in Fort Valley. And so as you can see, I showed this again. We are one of the bigger employers or automotive employers in the state of Georgia. Currently have about 1,500 associates. And so as you can imagine, it takes a lot to keep that operation running. So we have 1,500 associates every day that come to work wanting to do something and create product. And so to be able to do that, we have over 500 production suppliers. And as I discussed yesterday, our average order size for a school bus is 1. So right now, we have 12,000 active part numbers that it takes to build a school bus. There are 3,000 options you can order. There are 4,000 seat plans, and we build buses in every 7 inches from 19 feet to 40 feet. So we have a very varying degree of product. A school bus on average has about 5,000 parts. So you can imagine order size of 1, 5,000 parts. There are a lot of opportunities for us to be successful or not successful here daily. And so as you can see, we do have a lot of product moving in and out of our facility every day. We currently move about 179,000 or 179 million pounds of material into the facility on an annual basis. As you can see, definitely the largest mode that we use is less than truckload. From us, as we look at some of the things that we need to work on, it's optimizing our supply base and being able to change that mode from less than truckload to truckload where we can. And so, as I look at some of the opportunities I'll talk about here, those are some of the things that we're working on at Bluebird with our 3PL partner, Neovia. As you can see here on the map, again, as we said, you have to have a map in these presentations. But as you can see, our supply base here in the States is heavily in the southeast and up around the northeast area there. So we have a lot of material moving from there in those areas. But at the end of the day, we got to get our product back out. And so, as you can imagine, we have very large pieces of equipment that we're moving around here. Honestly, one of the easiest ways is to get that product to the end destination is to drive that product. And so we work with a third party that delivers our units. And as you can see, we have about almost 7 million miles that our buses are driven every year to get them to their end destination. As you can see, we do have a presence in every state and every province of Canada. We do ship quite a bit overseas, and we're pretty active right now in some business in Colombia. We're actually working on a pretty large project there, and so as you can see, we ship product all over the world. But you know, another big part of our business, so we've got all this product out there. One of the things we need to do is service our product. And so we do have a distribution center that our 46 dealers and all of our customers around the world can order parts out of. As you can see, it's in Delaware, Ohio. Chosen for its location, it just kind of made sense for us to be able to support both our West and East Coast customers in the center of the country. Again, I thought I had a problem with my 12,000. They have over 20,000 SKUs that they're responsible for there. We basically said if we built it on a Bluebird, we'll supply it back to you. So we do have, we produce parts through our service organization for all of our products. It is a global customer base. We have customers all over the world that this distribution center needs to fill out of. We're proud to say that on our fast parts, or A parts, if you're familiar with that terminology, we do have a fill rate of 97%. So 97% of the time if you call us, we have the part in hand to be able to fill that order when you want it. Because that's an important thing, is having that product there when the customer wants it. You know, if they call you, you don't have the product, and 9 times out of 10 they're going to call someone else. They're not going to wait for you. And I think it was, as we talked about some of this omni-channel and that stuff, I thought that was interesting. You know, as manufacturers, we need to be able to support our customers out in the base. So as you can see, this facility is heavy on the parcel. So quite a few ground packages and priority packages going out of there. We do offer some free ship days and that type of stuff. So we leverage logistics in our distribution to be able to help us get sales. So you know, we do work with our shippers and the trucking companies to be able to help us support that. So it is an advantage. It's one of the things we use as an advantage is logistics to help us drive sales. So from my standpoint, when I look at Bluebird, you know, I think we talked about the challenges here. A school bus takes about 4 days from start to finish. Our lead time for a school bus right now is 10 weeks. So most of that lead time is in the supply chain. So it's producing the product, getting it shipped there. So, you know, one of the things as I'm looking at it, as our inventory levels, you know, there's constant pressure for us to drive those levels down. I mean, in the past, it wouldn't be uncommon that people would have months worth of inventory sitting around waiting to produce. Well, that's a waste of capital. It's a waste of scarce resources. So, you know, as we drive down those inventory levels, we're becoming more and more reliant on our shippers and our logistics people to be able to get that product there when we need it and when they set it. And so, you know, one of the things that we monitor very closely in ours is on-time delivery, because, again, like I said, we have 1,500 associates that are showing up every day expecting to do something, and we got to supply them the parts there. So one of the things, again, that we monitor very closely is on-time delivery. You know, one of the challenges I know our logistics providers face is with 500 suppliers, you know, sometimes it's like herding cats. But we have routing guides. So there are things that we put in place in the systems to be able to help us be effective. Unfortunately, if in our quarterly reviews that we have on how we're doing, this is always a topic. So, we do understand as manufacturers and working with the logistics company that we do put strains on you guys as well out there in the marketplace if we don't do what we say we're going to do. So if we have people that we say that you need 48 hours notice, calling in 10 hours notice, that's unacceptable. And so, that's some of the challenges we're working on, is helping our suppliers and our supply base understand that we need to work together. It is really a partnership to be able to help support it. I think the next point goes without saying, we do have an increasing global supply chain. I do concur with the points that we need to reshore and do some of that, but at the end of the day, there are going to be parts and there's going to be things that can be produced at other places more economically, but we need to be able to leverage that and be able to go get that cost and bring that in. And so, it's not getting easier, it only seems to be getting harder. And so, it is something that as logistics and manufacturers that we look at every day. I talked about this one just a little bit. Again, the cost or the per unit cost of freight for a bus is significant for us. And for those of you who don't know, some states that we participate in, they do have legislation that has low bid and those type of things. So if you lose a bid by $1 or you're $1 higher than your competitor, they have no choice. They have to take that bid. And so when we're looking at a pretty significant cost of our buses is tied up in the supply chain, we're looking at how can we optimize that and how can we get some of that cost down. As you guys saw, that we have a large amount of less than truckload type shipments coming in, and we really do see that as an opportunity. That's one of the projects we're working on right now, is how do we set up some lanes, some milk runs, those type of things that we can piggyback with our supply base and be able to optimize those trucks and cube those trucks out, but minimize our cost and that. And so, and that leads into the last one. With all of us, I think it was interesting. It is a cost side, but it turns into revenue, right? When we have like I said, when we have bids that we can lose for $1, that dollar turns into a significant revenue loss. And so those costs really are what drives the revenue of the company. So where do I see logistics as a competitive advantage for us? Again, like I said, as we're shrinking those inventories and we're dropping those lead times, our supply chain and those type of activities, I believe it does give us flexibility and agility. So our ability to respond to customer needs, our supply chain, we just here at Christmas time, press release went out a little bit ago, we were able to, due to Hurricane Sandy, you may not have known this, but several buses almost, they had a pretty devastating impact on some of their busing in New York. We took an order, and we were able to turn that order around in 6 weeks, which is significantly less. But that took our supply chain helping us. So it was rerouting shipments, it was expediting shipments. So that type of stuff, us being able to respond and be able to meet our customers' needs, is definitely an advantage. Again, as we optimize and we do those things, it lowers your cost base. That just, the lower your cost, the more value you can bring to that customer, the more successful you're going to be. Again, it's shorter lead times. We have significant pressures from our customers. For those of you who don't know, it makes sense once you hear it. Our customers really like to take most of their buses from May to August. So they get done with the school year, they like to take delivery. So we are a very cyclical business, and so in the bus industry, there's a lot of movement to contractors and that type of stuff. So people are out there bidding on business, and so you can imagine the shorter that lead time, the more they can bid on it. And as we go out into the competitive marketplace, just shorter and shorter lead times is becoming a necessity. Inventory, as I talked, logistics company can definitely help you reduce your inventory levels, and so that's working capital that you can apply to something else. So it's working capital you can invest in equipment, machinery, people, your human capital, that type of stuff. So just being able to leverage that supply chain and get that inventory out of there. And again, it's at the end of the day, it's all about having parts and products when your customer wants them. And definitely that's not, you can't do that without your supply chain partners. So with that, again, I would just like to thank you again.